All right, so let's break down and let's reverse engineer the reasons why most agents fail. If, again, we can determine why most agents fail, then we can do the opposite in order to succeed. So here we go. I think the most important thing that we have to realize in order to succeed is simple math. 1 + 1 = 2. It's the 80-20 rule. 80% of the work, that's what's being done by 20% of the agents. So let's shift the way we think. Let's make sure we're here. We talk about mindset a lot and shifting our mindset. And today we're going to dive deeper into that. First, it's expectation. The lack of commitment and persistence. Hear that. Real estate is a challenging industry that requires a great deal of effort, time, and dedication. I know. It seems like we know that, Mike, right? But again, why most agents fail is because they enter without fully understanding what it takes to succeed. And here's the problem, guys. They become quickly discouraged when they encounter obstacles. And those obstacles, I mean, we can get into a plethora of them. One thing, when you hear me talk about expectation and why it is so important, is one of the key components to that is delayed gratification. However, if we don't stay committed and persistent, we're never going to reach those goals. We're never going to achieve that success. And so what happens? We regress. When we're not seeing the results that we want, we get discouraged. What's an obstacle? I can't find a buyer. Well, are you committed? Are you being persistent to your business plan that you put together, that you drew out? You can kind of set your expectation. You don't have to be brand new for this, but you can set your expectations as you follow this business plan. But again, this is one of the reasons why most agents fail. They get a license. They think that's the hardest part. They're in real estate school, or maybe they're at a different brokerage, or they're struggling, whatever the case is. 80% of agents don't make it out of year 1, let alone into year 2. And if you don't make it to year 5, and this sounds discouraging, do you really have a career in the business? I want to delete the 1 year. My 1 year didn't even count. I should have been another statistic, but I set an expectation that it wasn't about getting out of year 1. My expectation was what was I going to do to be forward thinking enough to get out of year 5. And if I could make it to year 5, then I had a real shot at turning this into a career and not a hobby. As simple as it may sound, if lack of commitment and persistence is a problem and not setting expectation is a problem, let's work on our commitment and persistency issues. Speak up or don't win. Number 2, it's poor communication skills. As a real estate agent, you guys, you have to have excellent communication skills with clients, with other agents, being able to negotiate deals and close transactions. If you're scared to do this because you're not confident in yourself or in your communication skills, what are you going to do, right? You're not going to win. And again, agents who struggle to communicate effectively, not only do they not win clients, in turn, you can't close deals. You have to sound the part. You have to be confident in the message that you're delivering. If I'm up here right now and I'm breaking down these slides and I don't speak with conviction and I don't even believe the things that I'm saying, and this is part of communication skills, there's a problem there. Then I don't believe I'm the person for the job. Whether I'm up here preaching or I'm out there talking to my clients and I'm trying to negotiate deals and I'm trying to build rapport, win people over, build relationships. If I'm not doing those things, there's a great chance that I fail in this business. And no one's saying it happens overnight. These things do take time. But if you're not out there gaining that experience, which is going to lead me into one of our next points, you can't grow. You can't win. We say it all the time. Closed mouths don't get fed. Do you know what I did in the beginning of my career? Sounds crazy. I role played, but I didn't role play with anybody. I role played with myself. Guys, I would record myself on my iPhone with certain types of dialogue, me negotiating with myself, me just talking as if I were someone that I wanted to work with. And you know what I did every time I got in the car? I didn't listen to music. I didn't even listen to podcasts, although I prefer podcasts. I prefer listening to other people speak. rather than music. I think how I want to deliver or how I want to be able to articulate myself through my voice memos, and I would play them back and forth. If I was in between showings, if I was driving to an office or to meet a client, whatever the case was, right? And I would never go word for word, but I would get the premise. And this is how I built my communication skills. It didn't just happen overnight. If you think I wasn't nervous the first time I ever met a client, the first 5 times, the first dozen times, I still get butterflies when I meet a brand new client, right? But I am confident in my abilities to deliver a message and to provide a service. Yet most agents fail because they're not. But until you're out there face to face with somebody, you're not going to know what to say because you're not going to know what you're being presented with, if that makes sense. It's not until you're out there that those types of situations, the ones that you think you're preparing for, are going to present themselves. And what do we do if we don't know the answer? Well, most agents won't put themselves in a situation that's going to allow them to not answer that question because they're not going to take the initiative to go out there and build relationships, build rapport, and build a business. They'll just hang back, kind of wait for it to come to them, work with people that they know. You've got to get uncomfortable and you've got to open your mouth. You have to speak up. Again, I know it sounds simple. Poor communication skills are why agents fail. Let's speak with confidence and conviction. There is nothing because we're the licensed professionals out there. We've got to act like it. Let's reverse engineer. Let's get out there. Let's speak up. Represent you. This is simple. Inadequate marketing. Okay, so if real estate is a competitive industry and agents must differentiate themselves from others to attract clients, why aren't they doing? Agents who fail to invest in marketing and promoting themselves may struggle to build a client base. If you don't have a client base, if you don't have a pipeline, you don't have a business. I do not care if you have a client or two. We do not babysit clients. We do not babysit deals. When you need to continuously be working, focusing your efforts on marketing and branding yourself. This is not about buying leads. If you have a marketing budget, it should be spent on marketing yourself, on content, on ads, on posts. They're going to live on in perpetuity versus thousands you could spend on Zillow Flex. And I'm not knocking Zillow Flex. It does take money to make money. But we're talking about struggling agents or why agents fail. It's because they think they can go out there and purchase leads from day one without ever closing a deal. You want to grow your business. You want to supplement your business. You have to prove to yourself that you can first go out there and create one. Then you want to take on more business. They say, well, Zillow leads, they stink. Bold leads, they stink. You're not hearing this from the agents who succeed in converting those leads. You're hearing that from agents who poured thousands of dollars into paid leads who probably have never closed the deal and think this is what they need to do, or their communication skills are poor. So what they deem to believe, or they believe is a crappy lead, they don't know how to cultivate, build rapport in that relationship to eventually turn that cold lead or that warm lead into a sale. There's nothing wrong with Zillow Flex or Bold Leads. It's a numbers game. But again, the problem is you're more focused on buying the leads instead of building your brand and marketing yourself. It is I hate to say this, and I know we're different. It is a very competitive industry. We are a dime a dozen. What are you doing to stand out? And I'm a huge proponent of video. I love that we're seeing more and more agents in our organization do more video. I love it. They're marketing themselves for free. They may not be going out there and spending all this money on high-end video, which I strongly encourage also, but they're getting started. They're putting themselves out there. They're marketing themselves. That's what makes you stand out because, every single agent out there can do a video, but they can't do it like you. You're one of a kind. And the power behind marketing yourself through video is that people get an opportunity to interview you or see the type of personality or how you carry yourself, right? They can build unspoken confidence on whether they want to work with you or not based off if you're a likable person. People work with people that they like, and people work with people that sound remotely like they know what they're talking about. Power behind video. If I showed you guys one of my, because my videos, I like to keep them 60 seconds or shorter. There's about 12 minutes that I shoot, record, mess up, stumble, and I come back and I edit it up. I'll take 12 minutes to turn it into one. Because as I market myself, that's what I want people to see. That's what I am trying to represent. Someone that they can trust. So it's not a matter of me spending money to market myself. It's my time, which I value. And you should be doing the same. Yet most agents fail because they don't invest in promoting themselves, not buying leads. Promote you, represent you. We've got the teacher on the call, and he's sick of me saying it, but the greatest teacher is experience. However, the lack of experience and knowledge, this is what hurts people, okay? Real estate requires specialized knowledge and experience to navigate complex transactions and legal requirements. Of course it does. And guess what? Agents who lack experience or knowledge may struggle to advise clients and navigate complex deals. Here's the thing. Until you get out there and do it and scuff your knees, learn from your experiences, you can't gain any. Do you think every deal is the same? It's quite the opposite. Every deal is different. Now, the procedures, right? The contract, the attorney review, the timelines, all that would stay baseline. But every deal, every experience is going to create a new set of problems. We're problem solvers. So how do we gain that experience and knowledge? We go out there and we do it. We do not train ourselves out of the business. And that's what happens. That's what most agents do. They want to sit there and they want to train and they want to prepare for a scenario that very well may never happen, or it's common, and they just want to be able to master it. They just want to be programmed to do. It doesn't happen that way. It happens in the field. As one of the reasons why agents fail, it's not because necessarily your lack of experience, it's your lack of actually taking the approach to go out there to generate the business so you can be faced with these complex deals, being able to navigate clients, right? But there's no such thing as a perfect deal. So if the deal is smooth, that's still probably going to put me and my clients in some type of precarious situation where there's an issue either with title, lender, attorney, other agent, seller. If I represent the buyer, there's always going to be something, right? And I take that as a learning experience. For some of you on this call, or some of you who are going to go back and listen to this call, you'll hear me say, welcome to the business, right? When you're faced with an experience or a problem. I say, you're dealing with an agent who just isn't great, right? Unfortunately, that's what we're here trying to create, a better industry. That's why we put on, okay? But this is what happens. People will text me or call me and they'll be so upset or they'll be struggling and they may have a question about something but I'm like, no, little do you know, this is something that I could never prepare you for. This is something that we can never prepare you for. You actually have to go out there, learn it, have that welcome to the business moment, take it and learn from it. And now you have more knowledge. Now you have more experience. Now you know how to attack the same problem or issue and maybe even resolve it faster, right? Because we're problem solvers, but we cannot prepare you for all these scenarios. The greatest teacher, experience, and Sean Krause. This one's big. I'm just going to be honest with you. Don't care if you do this part-time. Don't care if you do this full-time. Okay. It's micromanaging. It's inconsistent income. Real estate agents are typically paid on a commission basis. However, we know that's not true here at eXp. We have multiple ways to earn. Agents who are unable to manage their finances and plan for periods of low income may struggle to survive in the industry. Hold on one second. I need you to see my face when I talk about this. Okay. We've seen it. We have seen it over the past 2 years. Point number 5, inconsistent income. Those who have joined us during, you get canceled for saying stuff like this, during the COVID years of the business, who were making so much money, those aren't here anymore. Some of them are, but I know top producing agents over the past 2 or 3 years, top producing, who aren't here, they didn't manage their income. They thought that that gravy train was going to last forever. It doesn't. And this is why a lot of agents don't make it in the business. They're not future planning. Every time I get paid in this business, and this is just for me, I want to let you know what I do. And maybe this works for you, maybe it doesn't. I'm not telling you how to manage your money. I'm going to tell you what works for me. Any type of income through EXP. I don't care if it's revenue share, stock award, mentor fees, commissions, the money's gone. It is allocated. I have several different accounts that get funded every time I get paid. Okay. My mortgage, my bills, okay, marketing, savings, and investments. I'm not the type that's going to walk around with a lot of money in their checking account. It's not how I operate. I like to be prepaid on my bills. 12 months, have I done it? I've done it many times, but 3 months, 6 months, right? 9 months in advance, not even thinking about it. Because you know what happens in this business when money is not an object, or you're not worried about where your next check is going to come from? You start shifting from that scarcity mindset to that abundancy mindset. Well, I know my bills are paid, right? I'm not going to let that bleed into my business, any type of desperation, right? But that is something that I worked on. I tell people all the time, I don't care if you buy the house. Buy the house, don't buy the house. Not going to affect me. Don't have to live in there. You do. So it has to make sense for you. It doesn't have to make sense for me. And a lot of that, I'm able to determine when I'm building that rapport or understanding my clients and providing a service, that comes off that abundancy mindset. They can feel it. They can feel it in my energy. This is why agents fail. They're not micromanaging their money. Let's run it back from the top. And then I will let you ask me any question that you want. If you have any, you could put them in the chat. You could raise your hand. We can go back and we can start reverse engineering something that you want to focus on, right? So let's talk about it. Let's go I'm not going to share my screen since I'm already here already. So expectation, lack of commitment, and persistence. Agents fail. We have to work on that. Closed mouths don't get fed. Agents do not want to speak up. If you're not going to speak up, you can't build your business. Has to make sense. The more you talk, the more money you make. I know, it's crazy to me because they say you should be listening more. And I do believe that. We have to be able to listen. There's a reason why God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth. We should be listening more. That's true. Guys, put yourself in a situation to listen to clients. But if you don't speak up and they don't know you're in the business, right, then you can't be faced with that opportunity to listen more. Represent yourself. You have to market yourself. Market your brand. What does it take every single day to post or promote your business or your brand? It doesn't take much. This is not you going out there and spending thousands of dollars in print, radio, TV, marketing. You can do it yourself. We talked about this last week. We know where the buyers are. It wasn't a matter of where to find buyers. It's how do we draw them to us? We create a brand. We market ourselves, right? Experience. Now, until you go out there and mess up, you can't gain that experience. Yet agents don't put themselves in a situation to gain this because they're either nervous or they're not confident in their abilities or themselves. So with that said, how can you gain something if you don't put yourself in a situation or position to achieve that? You can't. And that's why most agents fail. Point number 5, managing your income. What are you doing? What steps are you taking in order to make sure once you are making that money, right, you are now shifting your mindset from scarcity to abundance? I think that's extremely important. I truly do believe that. People can pick up on that, on your tonality, your body language. There's no way I'm going to let a client believe, right? I have a common goal with whether it's working with my buyers, whether it's working with my sellers, that I want to help them achieve theirs. That's my goal. Their goal, my goal. Whatever their goal is, That's my goal. How am I going to help them get there? I'm not going to let them know that, of course, I don't do this for hobby. I do this to provide for my family. But I'm not putting myself in a situation to compromise who I am as a professional, right? Because sometimes what happens is when we're desperate, we do desperate things. Desperate times call for desperate measures. No, not me. Everybody is going to be different, okay? Some clients are going to be more difficult than others. To this day, I still have some clients that are more difficult than others. But I value my time also. And I make that evidently clear. Guarantee you, there's never a client, you can go back through my book of business over the years. Never a client that told you Mike did it for the money. I didn't, okay? But that's because I worked from day one on how I was going to structure my income, put away money for taxes, savings, reinvesting in my business, future planning, right? Because there could be months, I kid you guys not, $30,000, $40,000 months. I've had them. Does that happen every month? It could. It very well could, but there's always going to be that uncertainty. As a 1099, as a business owner, as an independent contractor, what if I'm out there putting my license on the line for a check? I could lose it all. I could be fined by the real estate commission. Then I'll put myself in those situations, but that's how fast it could be taken away from you. So yeah, I have a great month. Means nothing to me. Nothing. I don't go out there and spend more because I made more. I save more. However, I have a quality of life. I have a lifestyle that me and my wife worked very hard for, and we maintained that. Last year, we didn't do anything different. Slower year. Oh, yeah. 2020 slower year. Still went to Hawaii. Still went to Puerto Rico. Still went to Disney, right? Still bought a new car. Right? That's me. I buy a new car every year. That's a problem. Okay. But the point is, we didn't change what we did, right? But we had that dynamic where we worked together. Okay. I'm not saying it's the same for everybody. I wouldn't do it any different if it was just me, myself, and I. Gotta manage your money. A lot of agents, they count those checks before they're cashed. We can't do that. But are we prepared once we start making more in real money? Ask yourself. Otherwise, what happens is, and I've seen it with these two eyes, these two brown eyes, I've seen it. Agents who came here over the past 2 years and did extremely, I'm talking breaking six figures back-to-back years, who are gone, license lapsed. They're no longer in the business. Now you could say, well, they don't sound like they were struggling. Of course they were struggling. They're struggling agents. That's why most agents fail. They had everything else. Hear me out. They had everything else. Business. It was heavier then. It was more consistent then. Market was insane. It was an enigma. And now, how do you go from selling all those homes to what? You were going to stop investing in your business, investing in yourself. Your marketing budget all of a sudden changed, or your lifestyle changed. You're making more money than you know what to do with at this point. You're not future planning. You're out of the business. You fail. It's making that a year one. It's not even making that a year two. What are we going to do future plan to make it at a year 5? And at that point, you'll even believe in yourself. If you doubt yourself years 1 through 4, let me tell you, by the time you make it out of year 4 into year 5, out of year 5 into year 6, you're confident. This is where you belong. Okay. You got to think that way. You got to have an open mind. Anybody, anything on why agents fail, or what can you tell me if you've learned anything, what you plan on applying to get out of your comfort zone and put into your business that's going to help you not become the 80% who do 20% of the work. Like, what are we going to do? Anything different today, or anything you guys want to add? See, you see her put on his camera.
Hello, Mike. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for the question. Really appreciate, because being a new in this country, like I need to speak more louder than people staying here. So this is the point which I learned that I'm lacking in this. I need to speak more louder.
Yes, absolutely. Because especially as a new agent you see here, and I'll be completely honest with you, there's nothing different between me and you, right? Because when I was brand new, I was in markets that I probably had no right being in. When I got licensed, I I was living in Burlington County. It's funny, and now I'm back in Burlington County years later. But I was from Ocean County. I was from the Jersey Shore. Okay? I don't know if I say that proudly or not, but I was from the Jersey Shore. Well, I guess I was from Jackson. I was from the sticks. But I digress. The point is, I moved down to Burlington County. I got licensed, of course, in the state of New Jersey, but I went to a real estate school in Camden County. And then I ended up finding a real estate office in Cherry Hill. I knew nobody, nothing. It wasn't even until probably later in my second year in the business, or maybe the beginning of my third year, I have to go back and I have to figure it out, that I actually sold a home to somebody who I knew. So the first year I struggled. I should have been a statistic as a brand new agent. I wasn't doing the things. I thought I was working, but I wasn't, right? I wasn't holding myself. I wasn't focusing on income producing activities. And something about me is that I refuse to fail. Failure is not an option. Okay. Or if it is, I'll never quit. So failing is one thing, quitting is another. And I told myself, I'm not going to quit. I should have been a statistic as a brand new agent in my first year. In markets, I knew nobody. I actually had to go out there. I had to host open houses. I had to knock on doors. I had to solicit in areas that clearly stated no soliciting. And you know what my broker would tell me? I said, Bob, I'm just going to use the name Bob, the alias Bob. I said, Bob, there's clearly signs. I was walking around Kings Grant in Camden County. Okay, tons of townhomes and tight-knit communities. And I said, there's no soliciting signs everywhere. He said, okay, go out there and solicit. I said, well, what do you mean? He goes, well, when they call the cops, then stop, right? Okay. I said, all right, I'll do that. I'm not recommending anybody do that, okay? But the point he was trying to make was go out there and do it, right? That's going to make you uncomfortable. You're not hurting anybody, okay? Someone asks you to stop, you stop. So halfway through handing out door hangers or knocking on doors, I get a call from the office, and it was the Cherry Hill police, and they said, I was like, man, I wonder how they got my information. Oh, that's right. I'm handing it out to everybody. Okay. Moral of the story was I went out there and I did things to meet more people. Just, just to be myself, my A personality. I wanted to put it out there. And once I learned, because a lot of the times the reason why we don't go out there and do these things is because we're so concerned or worried that, we're going to get, again, approached with questions or scenarios that we don't have the answers or outcomes to. So what we'll do is we won't put ourselves in those, again, scenarios. And then I was taught that you went to real estate school. You spend the time to train yourself. You are the licensed professional, and I was young. I was in my 20s when I first got started. And, I was like, who's going to listen to this kid? Well, if I could sound like I know what I'm talking about, I can make them believe it, right? There's an old saying in business, guys, fake it until you make it. So do it until you believe in yourself where you don't actually believe that anymore, where you're not faking it. But sometimes we all have to do it, right? So go out there and just expose yourself. Talk louder, clear, whatever you got to do. Repeat yourself over and over and over again. Get out of your comfort zone. People don't read minds. People just don't know that you're in the business without properly marketing and advertising yourself or getting face-to-face or post-to-post, like I said, when it comes to social media. But again, we were very similar in that regard, in that respect, that I moved down to an area that I knew nothing about. My broker, hit Kings Grant. I had to look it up on the map. Where the heck is Kings Grant, right? It could have been anything. Hit Hawthorne Estates, hit Signature Place. I didn't know these places. I went out there and I farmed. I went out there on foot. I would look for an accountability partner. I couldn't tell you guys how many people and we have so many of us here, but the point I'm trying to make was how many people that I seen in my old brokerage or that I would buddy up with and do these income producing activities with. And I could count on both, like literally probably 10 hands, how many people I've done different things with. And the only common denominator was myself. It was me with somebody else. It was never me with the same person because that person, they weren't seeing the results. They didn't believe in delayed gratification. They didn't want to keep doing the same thing, right? And getting the same outcome. That's the definition of insanity. Well, you know what? Then we're insane. But if you do something long enough, you're going to see the results. If you're doing it the right way, right?
Because failure make you a successful person. Don't quit. Failure is nothing. Don't quit.
Amen. You're absolutely right. It's okay to fail. You could learn from that. You can't
Yes,
quit.
exactly.
You can't quit, right? I don't want to quit anything until I'm long gone, dead, right? So I'll continue to fail. I'll continue to learn from those failures. And through those failures, I will find my success, right? I'll find my victories. I'll find my wins. I always have. And I'm just an average guy with an above average attitude. You guys are way more special than me. There is nothing special about me or what it is that I do. And I think that's what makes this homegrown organization so relatable, that I think all of you have everything, all the tangibles that it takes to find success. Because I'm telling you, I'm living proof. Coming somewhere, living somewhere, starting something with zero experience and a little bit of a personality, right? That you can make it happen. To make 6 figures in this business is not overly complicated whatsoever. It really, really isn't. You've got to, and that was part of it for me too, right? And part of my business plan, and part of setting expectation, and part of building my communication skills. I knew, right? I saw the silver lining. I knew it was going to be a struggle, but I stayed committed. And I continuously stay committed. I'm constantly changing my business plan. How can I get better? Complacency is not something that I practice, right? That's not something that I will ever be content with, being complacent. I always want to be better, right? So how can we add more value, right? How can we up our production? How can we change our mindset? Well, instead of talking about how agents succeed, let's talk about why or how agents fail. And let's reverse engineer. Let's change the way we think. But that's, there's me on a tangent again, but
your presentation was amazing. And thank you. I really appreciate your time and this effort.
Thanks, Yasir. Good luck. Go out there and crush it. Anybody else?
Definitely. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome, bro. Take care. Anybody else before we go ahead and we part ways as we approach the top of the hour?
How do I start signing up to do open houses?
That's an excellent question. So if you're in the state of New Jersey, you're in the state of California, you're in the state of Wyoming, odds are if you go on the workplace, your state has a dedicated open house, literally page, private group. And now,
is it the listings and open house?
It exactly is. It's exactly that. And you can put out times that you're available.
Oh, okay.
Or you can simply ask, or you can look for posts from agents who are looking for agents to host open houses, or you got to ask. And you may not get anything. You could post the same post. I promise you this is how it works. You could post the same post today in that group, get 0 responses. 0.
Mm-hmm.
Post the same 3 days from now, and it'll blow up, right?
Okay.
So yeah, put yourself out there. And that's how, because we have a large presence in the state of New Jersey, guys, there are opportunities out there. Trust me, listing agents do not host open houses. Not listing agents who, not saying all of them, but the majority of them, they use them as tools for other agents to go out there and try to build their businesses. So go out there and definitely new listings and open houses and just ask for sure.
Love it. Okay, cool. Because I did buy my business cards and I got just a few open house signs.
Good.
So I can do some open houses and kind of expose myself a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Put yourself out there. I think open houses are one of the most brilliant and easy and cheapest and effective ways to grow your business. So I talked about it last week, where to find buyers. No, we know where they're at, right? But but I also had an example when I used face-to-face, and I used open houses as my primary example. You are actually, by hosting these open houses, guys, they're coming to you. Mm-hmm. Maybe they're represented, maybe they're not. But this gives you an opportunity, right? To really
steal.
Yeah, it well does. and you know, earn their trust, right? Be
Yeah.
someone likable, provide information, add value. And I talk about it. Understand that home before you actually host that open house. I think that's really important also. But
Mhm.
yeah, you can go back and you can listen to that one too. But yeah, do it over and over again. And your first open house is not going to be as good as your 100th open house, or your 10th open house is not going to be good as your 500th. You know, you learn different. And guys, go out there and partner with a lender. Go out there and partner with a title company. It doesn't matter, right? Bring another professional to the open house, to the stage. That makes you look super prepared too, right? And trust me, there are hungry lenders out there, title reps, who will do whatever it takes. They want to grow with you. If they're new, even better. People say, you know, I want to focus with somebody who's brand new in the business. Well, that's ridiculous. Those are the people who I want to grow with. You know, then we can grow together, right? So, or bring somebody who's experienced. It doesn't matter, but definitely go out there, host them open houses. Great way to actually draw the buyers to you.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Keep me posted. Let me know if you need any help. Anybody else have anything they want to add? All right. Well, 9:57. I know you guys have busy income producing activities to focus on, so I'm going to let you go.